Hey there all cider lovers. Well, it's time for another, that's right, cider review. So for this time around, guys, we are going to Sweden. Once again, we are taking a look at a cider, which is, well, what one could describe as a supermarket cider, basically. So it's not a craft cider by any means. It's we're talking about Lustgårdens cider, which is described as a dry apple cider. Torräpple, which means dry apple. Coming in at 4.5% ABV in a 500ml can. This nice looking can, I have to say, it's a very, very eye-catching and very, very appealing design. And yeah, nice can basically. Definitely attracts your eyes on the shelves in the store. Says there back there, Lustgårdens cider is a dry cider with a fresh taste of apples with a moderate sweetness. Serve well chilled and blah blah blah. And that's it. Now a little bit there, dry apple cider produced in Sweden by Åbro Bryggeri, which is a big regional brewery. Now there's some other caveats here, of course. I'm coming to that later on in the review. Contains pear and apple wine, sugar, natural aromas, citric acid, and a couple of other things there, and sugar coloring, and some other chemicals there. Not good, of course, but that's what I meant when I said this is not a craft cider. And it's not pretending to be a craft cider either. But now, on with the review. I'm going to continue to yak a little bit while I'm opening this one. There we go. Yeah, good smoked on that one. And the cider is going out. Now, I have tried the cider before, but it was a very long time ago since I tried it. So I thought, well, why not? Let's give it a spin, I thought to myself. Because if I remember correctly, I would say that this is, for a supermarket cider, it's a decent one. Even though, and in spite of, I would rather say, all those sugars and chemicals in there. And that this is made out of apple and pear wine. Now, in view, what do we have? I can say that I'm getting a nice apple aroma actually right away. And that's good. That's a good sign in spite of everything. Yeah. Nice golden, dark golden color. Good deal of carbonation swirling up to the top of the glass. There you go. Looks nice. Looks the part. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, definitely a good deal of apple on the nose, I have to say. And that's surprising, but it smells of nice fresh apples. Yeah, a little bit of a kind of a sensation on the nose between a funky note and a sweet note. But otherwise, it's just a nice aroma, nice apple aroma there. So without further ado, let's dive in and see what we're going to get on the taste. Cheers, everybody. Ooh. So yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I remembered actually. Not so much the aftertaste, but kind of initially anyways. But I have to say, initially, you got a very nice, nicely balanced, fruity aroma. Very fruity cider. Then it kind of dissipates in the middle of that flavor spectrum. Again, a little bit of a watery, drying out sensation. And then comes a nice apple, flowery kind of aftertaste to it, which is surprisingly pleasant. But as that final taste disappears, you are left with a kind of a dried out palate. So you need to get to drink more because you do really get dry in your mouth. Let's go for another one right away. Yeah. So it's extremely drinkable for being a kind of a supermarket cider. produced by Åbro Bryggeri, which is of course a big regional brewery in Sweden, one of the older ones. So definitely not a craft cider company by any means, but it's not a bad cider. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. So let's go for a final sip before a final rating on this one. Yeah, very fruity taste, good apple aroma, good fruitiness, drying out at the back end, pretty pleasant aftertaste, but then your palate is left bone dry. A little bit of a watery sensation at the middle of the flavor spectrum, and it is full of sugars and such, and chemicals and preservatives and what have you. But besides all that, and in spite of all that, I think it's a decent cider. Decent, supermarket cider, industrially made cider. Lustgårdens cider, dry apple cider, 4.5%. It's a nice one. I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. That was everything I had for today. Thumb me up if you like the review. Thanks for watching.